we're going to jump right in. I am Andy Lockmeers. I'm a German New Medicine teacher and consultant in the beautiful, wonderful state of North Carolina in the Western foothills. And I am introducing today a friend of mine, a friend and colleague. Her name is Tracey Landrum, and she is someone who's got a very unique and special gift. And I'm so excited to share this with you. And I know lots of people are excited to hear more about what she does because I've been talking about it in my classes for a while now. So I want to introduce you to Tracey. Tracey, go ahead and say hi.
Hello, everyone. Hello, German New Medicine people.
So Tracey, tell us who you are. Tell us your background. Who are you?
Well, I was born in a little bitty town in Mississippi, and when I was very young, moved to another little bitty town in Mississippi. When I was 16, I had a near-death experience, and even though I came from a long line of very remarkable women, my psychic abilities went from probably normal for my family, which is abnormal for everybody else, to on steroids after this near-death experience. Then I graduated from high school with honors. I was number 5 in my class of 99, very small school, and went to Tulane University and majored in pre-med biology.
Ooh.
I had plans to either become a trauma surgeon or a geneticist.
Wow. That's awesome.
A lot of people don't know that about me.
Yeah, I love that.
Then life happens, and my parents went through a divorce. I came home, changed my major to psychology and communications. Then I got into a car accident and had to heal from that car accident. I was bedridden for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
And as life rolled on, let me backtrack just a little. At 19, I figured out that quantum physics was going to prove the existence of God. And so that was kind of my hobby where it started. And I wanted to help people make real and lasting changes. I would find a piece of something that would work, and it would always have issues with it that, it would work for this reason, but this was the issue. Then I would have to find the piece that would fix that issue. And over the years, I developed a technique that allows me to communicate with the subconscious mind, or the psyche in German New Medicine, and help that part of the mind to, how would you say it in German New Medicine?
On what you do?
Yes.
Yeah. So what we're figuring out is that you seem to be able to communicate with the psyche in a very unique way. Now, our psyche from GNM, it's our senses, it's our brain, it's our nervous system. It's not our mind, it's not our soul. It's an innate biological wisdom that Dr. Hammer calls the psyche, and it's how we perceive the world. And so you have a way to go in and talk to the psyche and nudge it to help it resolve the conflicts. You don't resolve conflicts. That's what we've discovered, is that you're not just wiping things out. You're not clearing anything. You're not doing anything like that, which is what we're always afraid of in GNM. So
I wanted something that would be gentle. That is my whole purpose, is something that will gently help people to resolve whatever issue that they're dealing with.
Right. It's like you're able to talk to the psyche in a way that gets rid of the clutter that can stand between us and our ability to resolve our conflicts.
Exactly. And the person still has to do the work. As I'm learning GNM, I'm finding out that the person still has to do the work, but with the uncluttered psyche, it seems to be a whole lot easier for the person to do what they need to do.
Yes, and that's huge, because I'm always looking for things that are what can help this person, somebody who's so mired in their issues and track after track after track, and they're stuck and they can't get out. Even though they know GNM, even though they're applying GNM principles, they're still stuck. And so for folks like that, you come along and you're like, okay, let's wipe this out, this out, this out, so that you can then make the changes you need to make consciously to resolve your conflict. That's
exactly.
That's what we're
and that
discovering.
psyche is a million times stronger than your conscious mind, and it's also our protector. Its job is to protect us.
Yes. That's a really good point. So it's not like it's doing something bad or wrong. It's helping us survive.
Exactly.
But then sometimes we can get stuck on that hamster wheel. And we've got those chronic things that we just can't seem to resolve. And so for folks like that, it's like, okay, let's get rid of so many of those tracks. We're not getting rid of it. We're simply clearing away the clutter. You're clearing away the clutter. So you've got a different perspective on it. And then you have to resolve it.
I think it's important for people to realize that a lot of the things that they have are not theirs. They were born with them. A lot of stuff comes in the DNA from the mother's side, the father's side. A lot of things, you are just like an open book until you're about 7 years old. You're in a semi-hypnotic state. So anything that goes on around you is just dumped into your mind, for lack of a better term. And it becomes almost like your hard drive. So I basically, if you think of yourself as a computer with multiple open windows, what I do is close the windows. And as we know with our computer, when we've got 50,000 windows going, it's slow, you get bogged down, it's hard to get the computer to do anything. But when you close all the windows, then it's fast and you can do what you need to do.
I love that analogy. That's awesome. It helps to close down those extra tabs, those extra windows.
And all that stuff is running 24/7 in the background.
Yeah. I want to just slide something in here, because from a GNM perspective, we only deal with this lifetime. And yes, we have mothers and fathers, and it's their behaviors cause us to have our psyches to have the conflict shocks, the DHSs that create the circles in the brain. So so it's we feel them even if we're in utero, we have those.
Yes, exactly.
And those start the programs.
In my research, what I found, now realize one thing is Dr. Hammer could have never anticipated somebody like me.
I'd say that's true.
And another thing is that sometimes I might use different terms, but a lot of, I find the German New Medicine theories, it's more than theories, but it dovetails very nicely with my work, because I might use a different term than Dr. Hammer, and I think he was a genius, but what I'm basically saying is the same thing. So if I say something that's not a German New Medicine term, it just means that it's the term that I've used for the past 30 years in my research. So I found, and I'm just fascinated with Dr. Hammer's work because of this, that the trauma hits the brain and then the emotion is shunted to the body. So that is definitely what he was talking about.
The emotion can become the track. Yes.
Exactly. So, and the brain shows the trauma with the Hammer foci.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yay. You get a gold star.
And that's after only one of Andy's classes.
Yay. I am so thrilled that you're learning GNM, because I think it's giving you a new perspective of what you do.
Exactly. It's helping me a lot, because if I can know the cause, then it helps me to figure out how to help the person better.
Perfect. And so what does it look like when you do a session?
So it takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours. We do a lot of talking. I have a process where I get you to visualize. Basically, we work on entire timelines. So we would work on everything with mother, or everything with father, or everything with an ex-partner. I even clear entire beliefs. So if you had a belief about, I'm not worthy, no one will love me, I'm not good enough, all those beliefs are incredibly powerful.
I don't know anybody who
So,
does that. My gosh. Yeah.
so basically, we do a lot of talking. I tell you what to do, when to do. There is tapping involved. But when I tap on somebody, basically what I'm doing is distracting the conscious mind so that we can get to the trauma behind the scenes.
So you're doing things that we can't see.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm moving energy. There's a lot of new research that says that what's up here is the cliff note.
Oh,
Okay.
yep.
But that the actual subconscious is outside of the body. So I'm moving energy in the quantum field. I have been told that by two professional physicists
Huh.
who have experienced sessions with me.
That makes sense.
And are we getting questions?
I don't know. I can't tell. So if we, Jenny, if you can tell us if we are, I can't tell.
I don't see any questions. I'm looking on my phone. Please, y'all, ask questions. We will answer them. I want to
Yes.
say that those who know me and have worked with me, and I think Amy can attest to this, that
Yeah.
I am not bunny foo-foo. I'm very practical. I
Right.
tried to figure out something that would actually work and actually help people make real and lasting changes. And that is what I figured out. In all my research, I knew that you had to make changes at the psyche in German New Medicine or subconscious level, and that if you couldn't make the changes there, then it couldn't be done. And everything that I could find said that it couldn't be done. And I just was determined and said, I know it can be done, and I'm going to figure out how.
And I love that you have done that. Oh yeah, we do have a couple comments. Yeah, people saying hi. No questions yet. Good. Okay, super. So do you feel like what you do is permanent? Is it?
It is absolutely permanent. Yes.
I mean, that's really hard to wrap your head around, you know?
I know it is. Again, it's because the mainstream thinks that it cannot be done. And I'm here to tell you it can be done. And I've done it many, many, many times.
Wow. Okay.
It's
Yeah.
like peeling the layers of an onion. So when you
Right.
peel the worst layer away,
Right.
then whatever's the next worst will pop up. And once the subconscious figures out what I can do, it pushes stuff up that it wants to release and
Wants
let
to
go
shift.
of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I know we have just started working together and looking at this from a GNM perspective. Have you had anybody that has had, you know, some major changes that's, you know, that we can see from a GNM perspective? It's like, okay, now they really can resolve their program now, and they do. You know, have you
There's
seen
so
anything
many.
like
I
that?
don't know which one to choose.
Yeah.
I had a Vietnam veteran that had PTSD.
Oh,
Would you
wow.
like to talk about him? He had
Sure.
cancer. Okay.
What kind?
He had bone cancer.
Okay.
So self-evaluation.
Self-evaluation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
He had a flashback every day for 40 years after Vietnam.
Ooh.
And what happened was, and it's a little gruesome, but his first day there, he was walking with one of his buddies, and all of a sudden the buddy stopped talking, and he looked over, and there was a bullet hole through his head, and the back of his head was gone. And
Oh
he
my
flashed
gosh.
back on that every day for
Oh.
40 years. He also had music flashbacks. Music from that era would trigger him. He got
Oh.
triggered by that.
Right.
So I worked with him. Flashbacks went away. PTSD disappeared. PTSD from the flashbacks. He had no issue listening to the music from the era anymore. He did decide to do chemotherapy. While he was on chemotherapy, I worked with him, and he had no nausea, and he was on Taxotere, which is the strongest chemotherapy drug that they give.
Oh my gosh.
No nausea, didn't take the first pill for nausea. He gained 12 pounds while on chemotherapy. He was always hungry. He was full of energy. He was a farmer, so he was out playing on his tractors and all his machines.
Oh my gosh.
He did lose his hair.
Yep.
When he lost his hair, I said, okay, we didn't think about that. So let's see if we can grow your hair back. So we worked with him a little bit more, and his hair, even on chemotherapy, started growing back.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Totally amazing. Okay. That's amazing. So you got rid of the trigger, and by shifting that trigger, he was able to simply be balanced after that.
Yes, he didn't have to take any drugs, no nausea, no vomiting,
no
nothing.
Major healing phase, no major epicrisis. He already had the program running of the self-devaluation. Of course, he didn't know German new medicine. He might have taken a different track if he had known that.
Yes, unfortunately, that was a few years ago. I did not know German new medicine then.
Totally, right. Wow. Okay, can you give us another story? That's fascinating.
So I had another cancer case. A young lady, very beautiful young lady, came from Hawaii to see me. She had cancer in the left breast. She was right-handed.
Okay.
And she had a spot on, I think, her right kidney.
Okay.
So I did 2 sessions with her. Yep. When she came in, she had an AMOS test. Are you familiar with that? Yep. It senses cancer on the cellular level.
Right.
Anything over 128 on an AMOS test is active cancer.
According to allopathy, yes.
Yes, according to allopathy. It was all that I had available at the time. So she came in, she took the test. She was working with another colleague of mine that was a wellness coach. He suggested that she do sessions with me. He put her on a wellness program, and that should have taken 90 to 120 days.
Yeah.
Her score on the first test was 394.
Oh, okay.
So active cancer.
Yep.
She came here. She did 2 sessions with me. You had a question, Andy?
Yeah, do we know if it's ductal or glandular? Which breast program she was running?
I'm not sure, but it had to do with both her family's cancer. It was rampant in her family and very shocking for her. She had lost her mother recently.
Okay. So it might have been ductal.
And she was also abused by an ex-husband and several other males in her life.
Okay.
So she had a lot of issues.
Yeah.
But I did 2 sessions with her, just 2. Before she left to go back to Hawaii, this was 45 days later, she said, I want to do another test and see where I am. The other gentleman that she was working with on the wellness program didn't want her to do it, but she insisted. She took the test, she got on a plane, she went home. When she got the results, she sent them to us. And she went from 394 to 4 on the scale. So anything under 128 is inactive cancer. And at that point, he turned to me and said, that was not my program. That was what you did.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm going to interpret this from a GNM perspective then. If she had...
Please do.
Yeah, if she had glandular, then she would have I mean, I'm not sure what that test was picking up, if it was picking up the metabolic activity in the glandular, which would have been cell growth. So I don't know, or if it was picking up the healing phase. So if that was the program, it's like there was a lot of, you took away the stuff that she was triggered with, perhaps, and she was
Yes,
able to resolve it and just get right through that PCL without any, without any fanfare. It sounds like she moved quickly through it. Or if it was ductal, she would have found it in the healing phase anyway. And so it sounds like it's definitely not a hanging healing. It was, you were able to put her in a position where she could just get through that PCL very quickly and not get triggered again. So, a lot of people get triggered again, and she didn't,
exactly.
because of
So
what you were able
as
to
far as
shift.
I know, I take away the triggers. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, those are amazing stories. Where do you see us going, with your work in G&M? Where do you see this in a couple of years?
So I hope to teach what I've discovered, because
Woo.
there's only one of me. There's 8 billion people on the planet.
You got to get working, girl.
Exactly. And there are a lot of people that need healing.
Yeah.
So I do hope to teach it to others. The planet really needs it.
So can we learn what you do and do it with others? I mean, do we have to die first to do this?
Hopefully not.
Okay, good.
I'm not signing up to actually kill people to get them to be able to do this. I think that people can, and I think that I can teach people how to do it.
Woo. That's very exciting.
I'm very excited to teach it
We
because, like
need
I
more.
said,
Yeah,
the planet really needs it. The planet really needs it.
totally. And I think anyone who knows G&M, especially if you're watching this and you know G&M, and you can see that, okay, this is a tool that really could be helpful with people. If you're working with clients, it would be amazing to work with this. So I'm super excited by that.
I am. We've got questions.
Oh, good.
Sorry. I was trying to say, hey, Amy. Hey, Amy.
Yeah. Hey, Amy. Deanna, Gail, yay. Has Tracey had any experience dealing with KCT water retention hanging healings?
Yes, I have. Recently.
Can you talk more about that?
I'm not going to tell you who, because
confidential.
Confidential, exactly. Every case is confidential. You'll never hear me mentioning anything about anybody's case unless they want me to. So I've dealt with several KCT programs. I've dealt with people that have had these programs. We're still kind of waiting to see what kind of results that we're going to get. Every person, it's multi-layered when I'm working with them. So we kind of have to dig around and find out what's going on. In one case, I actually had a dream about the person and told her things that she had never told anybody. And we actually did a session and worked on that. And it seemed to help her a whole lot to resolve some of the issues that she was having.
Wow, that's wonderful. So still waiting on results from that. This is new, you guys. We've just started working together. Tracey is just learning German new medicine. So we're really excited to get more information. The more people who have sessions with her, then we're going to gather more information and we'll have more data. Give us 6 months to a year and we'll have more data on this is what, Tracey's work can do. So we're in the infancy right now.
Yes, extremely infant times, because I have been only learning German new medicine for about a week. So I have a lot to learn, people.
She's brand new. Here's another question from Diana. Can the energy adjustments be made from a distance?
Yes, I have just started doing remote sessions, and we did have if it's all right to tell, we had an interesting situation where I worked with somebody that was a client of Andy's, and they had an epicrisis the next day.
Right.
That was a new experience for me. And Andy and I actually have a working theory. Again, I think you're planning on running like a clinical trial, aren't you, Andy?
Yeah. Exactly.
So our theory is that in the past, I had the epicrisis for the person that I was working on. And so when I was doing the remote session, they had to have their own epicrisis.
Right. So we're looking at, I think the other information that is that you worked on a lot of issues with that person.
Yes,
and
I did.
Realizing that was that's not the way to go. Because we know GNM, Tracey can use her gifts in a safer method than people who don't know GNM. So now we know that when you're working on those kinds of layers like you worked on with her, that you got to go slowly, because we don't resolve anything quickly with when we know GNM.
Exactly. And the things that you helped me with, the questions that we worked on so far are working with my other clients. I'm using them with everybody.
Right. Okay, good. So Tracey has you saying things, and so we put them in as from a GNM perspective so that the session is more GNM oriented.
Exactly.
It's fascinating. It's really fascinating. Here's another question. What is it called that Tracey does, and what is her success rate? From Michelle.
So it is called Infinite Change Process, and my success rate is right at 100%. Now, working with German New Medicine is a little bit different. There's kind of been an adjustment phase, like we were saying. I worked with one lady, she only wanted to do one session. So I actually overhelped her, I think.
Yeah.
And so we're backing up a little bit, we're slowing down, we're removing the layers in a gentler way, and a German New Medicine knowledge thrown in.
Exactly. So the woman who had her epicrisis, basically she just went into a little PCL that night or the next day. We're not talking anything earth shattering or life, affecting here. But it was good data for us to realize that, you can do too much of this. And so that was data for Tracey. So we're still, like we said, we're in the infancy.
Right.
I've got a hanging healing for over 23 years. Can Tracey help? And Amy said, that is what Tracey is helping me with. Are you in Michigan?
I was in Michigan. I've been there several times. They seem to really need me up there.
Yeah, it's interesting. Michigan. Hey, you guys.
I know.
Up there? What's going on up there in Michigan? This is great. Good. So I'm having her, Tracey is coming here to Western North Carolina next week. She is booked solid, and she is coming back in September, and we do have some openings there. So I would love to have people, if you want to give it a try in person, come on in to to Asheville, North Carolina. It is a beautiful place. We'd love to have you come and enjoy the scenery. And yeah, so is there anything else you'd like to add, Tracey?
Let me tell you a little story about a client that I had locally recently. And I was working with her, and we did a belief, and the belief that we worked on was, I'm not worthy. And we both felt that that was huge for her. So we had already decided on what we were going to work on the next week for our session. And I got there for the next week's session, and she said, oh my God, it's not gone. It's not gone. What you worked on, it didn't work. And I said, all right, calm down. We're going to work on what we planned on working on. And then I will meditate, and I will see what's going on. So I went home after our session, and I meditated. And what I got was, and I told her this when we met the next time, said I got that it's I'm not good enough. And believe it or not, that's different from I'm not worthy. And I got that it was bigger then I'm not worthy.
Ah,
So we cleared I'm not good enough for her. And after we did that and a few more sessions, she had bought a package. So I finished up 7 sessions with her. I got a call from her recently and she said, I want you to know that my whole life has changed. Everything is easier. All my relationships are easier. The relationships with my children, my husband. I'm making more money. I'm making investments. I'm making good business decisions. Just everything is easier now. So that sometimes happens where the next thing popped up that
right,
needed to be worked on. And she thought that what I worked on was not gone, but what I worked on was gone. It was just the next thing came up and it was so similar that she couldn't tell the difference.
right. Oh, that makes total sense too. Absolutely. Wow, I
So
love it. I bet, you should write a book, Tracy. Change the names to protect the innocent, but man, that would be fascinating.
I could tell some stories.
I'm sure you could. Wow.
So
All right.
how many sessions are typical and what's the cost? I usually get a number for the person that I'm working with. It just depends on the person. It could be
The
7, it
number
could
of
be
sessions you're talking about.
exactly. So it could be 7, it could be 12, it could be 11, it could be 8 to start. Sometimes I get qualifiers with that. You of course can do as many as you want or as few as you want. The cost with my previous business partner that he set was $1,000 to $1,250 a session. I, however, have lowered my price for Andy's people to $500 a session. And
Yay.
keep in mind that I am helping you to help your psyche release a lot of stuff in one session.
Right. The stuff that gets in the way of the resolution.
Exactly.
Stuff
I had a
that keeps you on a
client, let
hamster wheel.
me tell one more story.
Yeah.
I had a client that had an issue. His wife had cheated on him. He was
Ooh.
very, very macho, South American family, came from a very, very wealthy family. And he went to therapy every week for 10 years and paid $300 a session. So after spending $150,000 on sessions for 10 years, the therapist said, I can't help you. If you want to come in for a checkup every 6 months, that's fine. Basically, I'll take your money.
Yeah.
It still was not gone. It was not gone. I did one session with him. He paid $1,000 and it was gone permanently.
And what was it that was gone? What was the thing?
The thing was that he could not resolve that his wife cheated on him. And even though they were still together, he could not forgive her. He could not forget. And it affected every area of their lives.
Wow.
He couldn't let it go.
Years. Yeah.
For 10 years.
Yeah.
It was actually 17 years because by the time I had worked with them, he went to therapy the first 10 years and had been out of therapy for 7 years. It was still there.
Oh my. Oh my. Okay.
So for 17 years, it affected his relationship with his wife and their whole lives. And
Wow.
it was gone in one session.
Right. Yeah, that's amazing. When you put it in perspective like that, it's a bargain.
It is. It is
Right.
a bargain when you consider how much is going to be permanently erased.
Right. Wow. That's exciting. Well, I've had 3 sessions and I'm thrilled with the results of those as well. It definitely, it shifts you. It takes away the stuff that you just can't get rid of easily yourself. And so then your head is clearer. You can see things clearer. At least that's my perspective. You can see your life clearer. And when you can see it clearer, you are empowered to then take a different action. And it works. It works.
Exactly.
No matter all the stuff you've tried in the past, we just can't get out of our own way because we're stuck on that hamster wheel. We're in that hanging healing. There's too many layers. Take away the layers. Now it's clear. Now it's like, okay, this makes sense now. I can do this and this. And that program resolves and you're done.
And was that your experience? We really haven't talked about it that much after your sessions with me. Was that your experience?
Yeah, we really haven't. I would say there's been rather not going into nitty gritty details, but yeah, there's definitely a shift in my perspective of the issues that I've got running. We haven't worked on a couple of the ones that I want to work on soon. And we will. I feel like we've been working on some preliminary stuff. I know the first session was mom, the second section was dad. And that was amazing. So when I think of my parents now, there's no trigger there. That's gone. It's amazing.
And typically, like you said, mom and dad just so pass on their stuff to us in a way. They treat us and we get traumatized. And so that's typical for everyone. Everyone needs to eliminate that.
And I would say that just clearing my parents out, we didn't clear, just shifting the energy of my parents' stuff in me changed my relationship with my daughter, my adult daughter. And that's awesome right there. So that's been a wonderful thing that has occurred. Love that. So there's still more work on the third session that we worked on there.
Okay.
There.
But how are you feeling now about the subject matter?
I'm feeling much better about the subject matter.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, so it's like it just shifts your perspective so you can see things differently. And so then you can make different choices, which is what I teach in GNM. We need to change perspective and choose a different course of action.
It's all about getting your personal power back and then making the choice.
Yeah,
instead of
a great point.
When you're on that hamster wheel, you're making choices that the trauma is causing you to make.
Like
your psyche is
over and over again.
Yeah, your psyche is saying, this isn't safe. This isn't safe. This isn't safe. Don't do this. Don't do this. And so that's a lot where self-sabotage comes in. It's not really you sabotaging yourself. It's the psyche protecting you.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of people talking.
I know. And I'm trying to see it all here. Yay, Bruce is on. Hey, Bruce. Long time no see. So a lot can be accomplished in one session. Yes. And from a GNM perspective, we take into consideration that we don't want to ever downgrade things too fast, and resolve things, which is not what this does. We go slowly with this so that you're not plunged into a big PCL, into a big healing phase. So instead, it's simply for empowerment for you so that you can make new choices and therefore resolve the conflict yourself.
Very good description, Andy. Yes.
Thank you.
I take it very seriously, the Hippocratic Oath, at first do no harm.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's where GNM has helped you to be able to make better decisions about that, right? Because of Dr. Hammer's information.
Exactly.
Okay, that was, I'm just looking to see more questions here. Okay, I think, did we get them all?
Hey, Amy. she's my number one cheerleader on here. Thank you, Amy.
Go, Amy. Yeah, so I think we got through it all. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I'm just so excited to be able to do some studies with Tracey to see, what is she doing? We're still figuring out what she does from a GNM perspective, but I'm excited. I want people to learn about her information, about what she does, her special skills, and the fact she's going to be teaching this, which is phenomenal. So like I said, we do have open spaces in Asheville in September. If anyone's interested, you can let me know. You can also go to Gulfport, Mississippi and go see Tracey, or you can do remote sessions as well. And I've had one remote session that was just as powerful as the in-person one, which kind of surprised me, but it's like, yeah, okay, it's the same thing. Nothing was different, remote or in person.
Exactly.
That being said, Asheville is lovely, so why not come here?
I can't wait. So Gail Piper de Mesa had a question. Did we miss it?
Gail, what was your question? I don't want to forget you.
What was your process for him?
Ooh, I'm not sure who we were talking about. Maybe the PTSD guy? Gail, if you're still on, can you let us know?
Or for the man whose wife cheated on him?
Oh.
Can Tracey describe the one session process? It was the same session. It's the same process I always use. It's just that I had him, I use a process that I call the 3-screen process. And what you do, it's like when you're going to try on clothes and you have the 3 mirrors in front of you so you can see all the way around, right? So I get you to pretend that those screens are in front of you. And I get you to put the first memory of someone on the screen, and then the last memory of someone on the screen, and then all the other bad stuff goes in the middle. And when you do that, you're just dumping all that stuff out on the screen in front of you. And then I use my process to, hold on. I use my process to help the psyche release whatever it is that we're working on. So someone's asking about the guy with PTSD. Yes, I did the same with him. He was in the military, so I got him to put on the screen in front of him his first experience being drafted into the military. It was during Vietnam, all the way to his last experience, and I got him to put all the bad stuff on the middle screen, and we erased it. So I use the same process every time, but I can use my experience, my knowledge to tailor it to the person, the situation, and what they need. So every session is the same and every session is different. It's hard to explain, but it is tailored to the person and what they need.
Yes. So I'm sure not every session looks the same, even though, I mean, I've had 3, and while the process is the same, they all are different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I use my intuition, my experience, my knowledge, all that stuff comes into play.
Right. And so when we're talking with a client with GNM, we're using our intuition. We have to help, we're looking for those key words. And you're looking for keywords probably to help you zero in on what it is you need to work on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think any healer that's worth their salt is letting the person guide them to what they need.
Exactly. Exactly. Good. So I think we got through everyone. I'm so glad to see everyone. Amy, thank you so much for being here. Diana, Margie. Yay, Bruce, Deb, yay. Yes, you love to learn. I love it.
Gail, you're going to have to watch it when we're done. She wants to know. She said she was in late. How did I get started?
It's okay, Gail. We will post this. I think we post this, me on Facebook, but I think we post this, and so it'll be available. The recording will be there. And I'll probably put it on my YouTube channel as well. So look for it there, and it's probably going to go on my website. So don't worry, this isn't going away.
No, I think Andy and I are going to be working together for quite a while.
Yes, I think so, and I'm so thrilled. So
we're both learning a lot from each other.
Yeah, totally. This has been great so far. So good.
So
all right, good. Well, I think I can't think of any other questions. Can you think of anything else, Tracey?
I just want to thank you. Thank you for doing this and including me in your work. And I'm having a blast working with everybody and helping everybody. And that really is my purpose, I think, is to help as many people as I can.
I think it is too. And you're going to find G&M people are very smart and intuitive, and they have a great perspective because of, you know, because of who they are, but also with the knowledge of G&M. So thank you everyone for being here and tuning in. It's been wonderful. I'm so glad you got to see Tracey. You've been hearing about her on the Monday calls so much. So here she is. Here's what she does. And you can see she is the real deal for sure. So good. Well, thank you. Thank you, everyone. And we will catch you the next time. All right. And if you're not on my mailing list, go ahead and sign up on for my newsletter. Tracey's website will be coming out soon. Right?
Yes. Working on it. Working on it.
InfiniteChangeProcess.com.
That's what it's going to be. Yes. Okay. It will be InfiniteChangeProcess.com.
So mark that down. And once it's up, we'll let everybody know. All right, everyone, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. I'll see you next time we see you.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
And thank you, Tracey, for taking the time to do this. It's really great.
Thank you, Andy. Okay. I enjoyed it.
Me too.